Assalamu alaikum class 5. It's our first lecture of English A. So today we are going to study New Oxford Modern English Book 5. First of all, open page number 2, mention date at the top of the page, unit 1, the world in a wall. So the title world in a wall means the whole world has been discussed in one wall. Basically, it's a story about a doctor who kept all his pets of all kind in wall. Now we will begin with words to know. Bulbous, fat, bulging and round. Shaped like a bulb. Bulging, swelling outwards, sticking out. Confetti, small pieces of colored paper traditionally thrown on birthdays and marriage ceremonies. Dawdling, being slow. Enraptured, extremely pleased by. Infinite, limitless, impossible to measure. Intricate, extremely detailed and complicated. Oblivious, unaware. Phobia, an extreme fear of something. Predator, an animal that hunts and kills another for food. Quashed, rejected or stopped. Rapidity, moving or reacting with great speed. Reluctantly, with hesitation, unwillingly. Repercussion, an unintended, unwelcome consequence of an event or action. Rotten, large and plump. Scuttled, ran with quick, hasty steps. Surreptitiously, secretively, sneakily. Now we will move to reading section. The first paragraph is basically the introduction to the book and writer. This extract is from the autobiography My Family and Other Animals by Gerard Durrell. Durrell was an expert in studying animals. When he was 10 years old, Durrell, his older siblings and his mother moved to Corfu in Greece to live with Durrell's grown-up brother, Larry. It was here that Durrell began to collect and keep animals as pets. So this is being taken from My Family and Other Animals. And Gerald was expert in studying animals. When he was 10 years old, he and other siblings moved to Greece to live with his grown-up brother Larry, and from there his interest in animals begins. The crumbling wall that surrounded the garden alongside the house was a rich hunting ground for me. It was an ancient brick wall that had been plastered over, but now this outer skin was green with moss. So the crumbling wall surrounded the green outside the house was a rich hunting ground for Gerald. It was an ancient brick wall that had been plastered over. So that wall was plastered over and over, but now this outer skin was green with moss, bulging and sagging with the damp of many winters. And the outer skin of that wall was green with moss, bulging and sagging with the damp of many winters. So moss mean numb, bulging mean ubhar, sagging mean झुका हुआ. With the several inches wide, others damp of many winter, the whole surface was an intricate map of cracks, some several inches wide, other as fine as hairs. So the whole surface of wall was like a map. There was a lot of cracks in it, and several inches wide, other as fine as hairs. So here the intricate mean पेचीदा, उलझा हुआ, Here and there large pieces had dropped off and revealed the rows of rose pink bricks lying beneath. So involved, some of the pieces were dropped and the inner surface of the bricks were visible. The inhabitants of the wall were a mix a lot. Inhabitants mean bashinde, and they were divided into day and night workers. So the inhabitants who were there in a wall, they were mixed. They were not from one species, they were different, and they were divided into day and night workers. They had their different duties. The hunters and the hunted. At night the toads and geckos were and they were divided into hunters and hunted. At night the toads and geckos were geckos mean Garelu Chipkli were the hunters. So at night toads and geckos were hunters. Their prey was the population of stupid, absent-minded crane flies, moths of all shapes. Their prey was the population of stupid, absent-minded crane flies, moths of all shapes and sizes, and rotten beetles hurrying with their night's work. So prey means shikar. So their prey were crane flies, moths and all shape and sizes, and rotten beetles. By day it was difficult to tell the difference between the prey and the predators. So at daytime it was difficult to differentiate between the prey and predators. Everything seemed to feed off everything else. So by this line it means that every of these inhabitants were dependent on each other. The hunting was search out caterpillars and spiders. The spider hunted for flies. So hunting was search out caterpillars and spiders for their lunch. The spiders were dependent on flies. The dragonflies fed off the spiders and the flies, and the swift multicolored wall lizard fed off everything. But my favorites were the shyest member of the wall community, who did not seek any attention. But Gerald's favorite members were the shyest members of the community. They were also the most dangerous. You hardly ever saw one unless you looked for it. They were the most dangerous and mostly invisible unless you looked for it. And yet there must have been several hundred living in the cracks of the wall. And there were several hundred of them living in the cracks of the wall. If you gently lifted a piece of the loose plaster away from the brick, they are crouching beneath it. If Gerald removed any loose plaster from the brick, there were a lot of them beneath it. It would be a little black scorpion, an inch long, looking as tough he were made out of polished chocolate. And he is talking about black scorpion, an inch long, looking as tough he were made of polished chocolate. They were looking like a polished chocolate. They were weird-looking things with their flattened oval bodies, their neat crooked legs, the enormous crab-like claws, bulbous and neatly jointed as armor, and the tail like a string of brown beads ending in a sting like a rose thorn. So they were weird-looking things. In this paragraph, the whole shape of their bodies has been explained. They were flattened and their bodies were oval. Their legs were crooked. Their claws were like crab-like. They were bulbous. Weird mean ajeeb. Bulbous mean Bulbous mean kumkume की शिकल का and neatly jointed as armor. And the tail like a string of brown beads ending in a sting like a rose thorn. Thorn mean kanta. The scorpion would lie there quietly as you examined him, only raising his tail as a warning sign if you breathe it too hard on him. Then one day I found a fat female scorpion in the wall, wearing what at first glance appeared to be a pale fawn fur coat. So one day he found a fat female scorpion in the wall. At first glance, it appeared to be a pale fawn fur coat. Closer inspection proved that this strange garment was made of a mass of tiny babies clinging to the mother's back. So when he looked closely, it were their babies on her back. I was enraptured by this family. Enraptured mean wajad mein aana, clinging mean chimatna. And I made my mind to smuggle them into the house and up to my bedroom. So he made his mind that he will move them to his house and then to his bedroom, so that I might keep them and watch them grow up. So he could see them growing up. With infinite care, I moved the mother and family into a matchbox. So with great care, he moved the mother and their babies to the matchbox, and then hurried to the villa, and then he went to the house. It was rather unfortunate that just as I entered the door, lunch should be served. So when he entered the door, lunch was served. However, I placed the matchbox carefully on the mantelpiece in the drawing room. So when he entered the house, lunch was served. However, he placed the matchbox carefully on mantelpiece. Mantelpiece mean atishdan in the drawing room, and made my way to the dining room. And he went to the dining room and joined the family for the meal. Dawdling over means waqt zaya karna. My food, feeding Roger surreptitiously under the table and listening to the family arguing. And he was feeding Roger surreptitiously. Surreptitiously mean khufia, under the table, and listening to the family arguing. I completely forgot about my exciting new captures. So he completely forgot about the scorpion. At last, Larry, having fetched the cigarettes from the drawing. So when Larry has finished his lunch, he fetched the cigarettes. So he fetched the cigarettes from the room, and lying back in his chair, he put one in his mouth and picked up the matchbox he had brought. So when he put one of cigarette in his mouth, he picked up the matchbox that Gerald has brought to the home. Obvious that the end of my happy days was about to come. Obvious mean ghafil, that the end of my happy days was about to come, and he thought that it's the end of his happy days. I watched my eldest brother interestedly as still talking loudly. He opened the matchbox. His eldest brother was talking, and he was unaware of the matchbox. Now I insist to this day that the female scorpion meant no harm. She was nervous and a little annoyed at being shut up in a matchbox for so long. So he thought that female scorpion would not harm. but she was nervous and little annoyed because she was kept for so long in a matchbox, and so she seized the first opportunity to escape. So at first she seized for to escape from the matchbox. She pulled herself out of the matchbox with great rapidity. She pulled herself with great rapidity, her babies clinging on desperately, and scuttled onto the back of Larry's hand. So she was trying hard to get out of the matchbox, and she scuttled to the back of Larry's hand. There, not quite certain what to do next, she paused, her sting curved up at the ready. At last she came out of the matchbox, and she paused, her sting were curved up at the ready. Larry, feeling the movement of her claws, glanced down to see what it was, and from that moment things got increasingly confused. So Larry was unaware of scorpions. So when he felt the movements of her claws, he looked at his hand, that what it was, and from that moment everything got confused.